What's going on, everyone? We are back with another edition of our newsletter here. This is going to be another in-depth, hands-on Zapier type call here. So what I am looking at doing is automating service requests, right? That seems to be a very popular thing. Service is obviously where you make your name as an agency, but it's also one that really like drags down time, right? There's a lot of touches, and it can really, really slow you down. So I'm going to show you what I have built for one of our clients and kind of go into how they will automate that process going forward. So obviously this screen looks very intimidating. There is a gigantic Zapier path built onto here. I do not expect you to have anything quite this robust built, but it's not necessarily something that you wouldn't want to build either. So what we've got triggers this entire thing is a form submission from Gravity Forms, right? This is going to be on their website. It is seen by by all the clients. It can also be used internally. If somebody calls you, you can just have your staff go to that form, fill out the information as you're going. That way it will automatically create that service ticket. And this one, it's connected into Agency Zoom, but you can have it connected to Better Agency, Pipedrive, HubSpot, any of the Insured Mind, any of those that you're using for CRM servicing, whatever. So I'll show you the form as well, but here is the Zap, right? So it's coming through. It's taking a dive into paths. If you have not used paths in Zapier before, it is basically do this or do that, right? Based on certain criteria. For this particular one, what I have is if it's a personal lines request or a commercial lines request, right? That's the very first thing. So we're going to take a look at the personal lines requests all the way over here. Now, once we realize that as a personal lines request, there are several different personal lines requests that can happen. So just an example, some of these that we have here: add or remove additional insured, add or remove coverage, driver, vehicle, cancellation requests, etc. From there, we also go down another path. So 3 paths deep is as far as you can go inside of Zapier. So I took full advantage of that and went 3 paths deep. And I will show you why here too. So look at this: add, remove, additional insured, right? The reason that I wanted another path here was because when I create the service request in Agency Zoom, I have it customized to say, here's the customer name, here's the summary, which I always love is misspelled in Zapier. The summary is just the ticket title, basically what you see inside the pipeline. So add additional insured. Here's the service request. Here's where it's going. It's round robining to all the CSRs there. It's due the next day. And then just the description is just what I grabbed from the form, right? So please enter the name of the additional insured you wish to add, the vehicle they're onto, blah, 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 right? You can get as in-depth or vague as you need on these questions. Some of them, we kind of have to get a little bit more in-depth on. So for example, this add, remove, replace vehicle. So I'm going to show you what we did for the add. Obviously create service request. Again, add vehicle. You can just type into this. You don't have to necessarily come in here and grab data. You can just type it and it'll be there when you zap it over into Agency Zoom. So some of the things that we grabbed here, right? Data purchase, year, make, model, VIN, odometer, primary driver, right? All of the stuff that you would need in order to get an actual quote to add that person to the policy. And what's also helpful is, like I said, being able to write this in here, kind of a tip and trick, if you will. Instead of just putting this data here, if you didn't have this, it just moved down. So if you didn't have this delivery radius, for example, all that would show is what the delivery radius was. It'll say 50 miles. It won't have this question that they're answering. It's just going to have the answer. So kind of a little trick that I like to do is to make sure that I have the actual question that they're answering and then put the answer that they put in there. So that way, when it comes over into Agency Zoom, I know exactly what that information is. What is the relevance of May 9th, 2024? Oh, it's the date that they bought the vehicle, right? Some of these are a little bit obvious, obviously year, make, model, VIN, whatever. But it is helpful to know exactly what question it is that they are answering. So this is how I've got it built to go into Agency Zoom. Like I said, you can do this into any CRM, anywhere that you're doing your service tickets, Fresh Desk, Help Desk. But if you're on Agency Zoom, you don't need any of that. So again, nice big path. It's just an either or. When you're doing the path rules, it's very, very straightforward. Only continue if this happens, right? So on this one, is this a personal or commercial lines? Contains personal. awesome. When you test it, it'll say if it would or would not have gone through. So based on what you want it to do, you can you're constantly checking yourself, making sure that you're doing it correctly right down here. And then you just, like I said, keep going down with the paths, right? So here's this one. What's the path rules? Custom rules only continue if which personal lines request would you like to make contains driver, because this is the add or remove driver one. And then I did it again down here. Only contains, are you adding or removing a driver? Adding. Boom. And then this one obviously says removing. So that is that on the path here. I'm going to do another video here in just a second and show you guys how to actually build the form. And that is where it gets really fun, especially in a gravity form or in a jot form when you have conditional logic. So be on the lookout for that for the following week. And as usual, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to hit me up. Any requests, definitely let me know. And I'll talk to you guys next week. See ya.